Whether you're a seasoned backpacker or you're going out on your first hike, there are some essential items you need to carry with you on your next adventure. Hey guys, my name is William. I am an avid hiker and outdoor photographer who has been all over the world in all kinds of climates, so I think these are some really important topics to cover, and let's get into it. So the items we're going to look at today are items commonly referred to as the 10 essentials. These are the items you would need to keep yourself alive in the event something goes wrong while you're out in the wilderness. The first item on the list is a type of navigation. Now this could range from a compass to a GPS unit to a satellite messenger, something similar like that. I carry an item that accomplishes most of these tasks in an electronic format. That would be this little dude. This is the Garmin InReach Mini. This provides me a very basic GPS as well as compass, weather updates, and satellite messaging, along with an SOS feature, which is here on this side door, that I truly appreciate in case things do go wrong. Category number 2 is lighting. Now you could carry a flashlight if you wanted to, but if you want the convenience of hands-free operation, a headlamp is recommended. I carry this little guy. This is a Black Diamond Storm. These range about $75, but you don't need to spend that kind of money. You can get a headlamp anywhere from $10 all the way up to a couple $100, depending on what capabilities and kind of brightness you want. They range from removable and replaceable batteries to systems that have rechargeable batteries. I personally recommend a system that does not have rechargeable batteries due to the fact you can carry extra batteries and hot swap them as needed. Category number 3, guys, is sun protection, and this one's going to vary greatly depending on what climate you're hiking in. I live down in the Southwest, so I tend to have pretty hot summers, even winters sometimes. The temperatures do get pretty warm, so I will constantly have a hat, a pair of sunglasses, as well as very high SPF sunscreen. I personally just carry a baseball cap, usually SPF 80 or above if I can find it. And as far as sunglasses go, I have been through more pairs than I can count because they tend to get damaged out here on the dry rock quite a bit, especially if you drop them, they fall off your head, things like that. If I'm going anywhere with snow, I will carry these guys. This is a nice little beat up pair of Glacier glasses. They get the job done, but nothing crazy. Category 4 is another one that's going to be greatly influenced by where you're going. So if you're going on a multi-day hike, you may want to go bigger. If you're going on a single day trip, you may not need something so crazy. But this category is going to be first aid. As far as first aid goes, for most of my single day hikes and maybe my 2 or 3 day hikes, I'll carry a small first aid kit just like this. But if I'm going on a multi-day expedition, especially if I'm going up somewhere where I may be climbing or something other than just basic hiking, I'm going to carry a more extensive kit. These smaller form factor first aid kits provide all the necessary things you might need in case somebody gets hurt. Nothing crazy, but light abrasions, bug stings, things of that nature. So they do have bandages, tape, as well as some over-the-counter medication inside the kits, while staying nice and light. Category number 5 comes down to a very multi-purpose item you may want to have on you. You want to have some kind of knife at all times. I prefer a multi-tool. I carry a very small one like this. This is really good for first aid, food preparations, things of that nature. And you want to carry something that you are very comfortable using, something that's not too big. You obviously don't want to be carrying a machete on trail unless you were bushwhacking. But for most standard stuff, a single blade pocket knife or a small multi-tool like this is all you need. Category 6 comes down to some way to make fire, whether this is to cook food or signal for help. You want to carry either matches or some kind of lighter inside your kit. I carry a small lighter on me. I've never had an issue with butane lighters failing. Matches may be more reliable, especially the stormproof kind that will light when wet. Category 7 comes down to shelter. Now, while this doesn't mean you need to carry a full-size tent every time you go out on a day trip, it does mean you do need to have some kind of emergency shelter device in your pack at all times. This is in case you do get stranded, or you get stranded in extremely inclement weather. I carry a 2-person bivy. This allows me to wrap up 2 people, keep us nice and warm, conserve the heat inside. They work very similar to space blankets where they have reflective material on the inside and they're bright orange on the outside, making you easily visible to rescue services. This particular one happens to be made by a company called Survive Outside Longer. You can find them at places like Sportsman's Warehouse, REI, sometimes even Walmart. And they're a really, really inexpensive item to have in your kit. They don't take up much space or weight, but in the event of an emergency, especially extreme weather, it's a good way to keep warm if you have nowhere you can seek shelter. Category 8 is food, specifically extra food. So I base this around how long of a trip I'm going on. So if I'm going on a 1-day trip, I pack 2 days worth of food. A 3-day trip, I'm generally going to pack 5 to 6 days worth of food. While this does add extra weight, in case of an emergency, or if you just happen to be taking longer, especially on longer backpacking routes, you do have food you need. I personally like to carry these small keto bars I find at Walmart. I like the taste of them. They don't add a ton of extra weight, and they don't take up much space. But if I'm going on an extended trip, I may pack some extra dehydrated meals, as well as some extra bars. That way, if I don't have the ability to cook my dehydrated meals, I can always eat those instead. Category 9 is water, specifically, again, extra water. So generally you're going to want to carry roughly 2 liters on your day hikes. If it's a hotter climate, you may want to carry more, but then I always carry an additional liter of water on me. So most day hikes I go out, I'm taking 3 liters of water, which for me equates to 2 of these CamelBaks. These guys are 1.5 liters each, and they have a carabiner hook here on the end, so it makes it really convenient to hang them off the back of my bag or put them inside the bag. And our 10th and final item, guys, this is going to be extra clothing. This one very much depends on the weather and climate you're hiking in. For me, I always carry a rain jacket, and I also have these guys. These are emergency ponchos. They're just good to have in your kit if you need them. But if you're going out and it may possibly rain, you pack your rain jacket. If you're not sure how cold it's going to be, make sure you pack an extra jacket. Just having extra items in your kit in case the weather changes rapidly or you end up in conditions where you were not essentially planning for in the beginning of the trip. And those are the 10 essentials, guys. These are the items that are going to keep you alive should the worst happen. And they're going to vary greatly depending on the quantity and specificity of items, depending on where you're going and for how long. But there's something you should always carry in your bag no matter where you're going or for how long. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.